Hello, family. Welcome back to the African Diaspora News Channel. I am Wongel Zelalem, and today we're talking about Bola Tinubu departing for Europe. Believe it or not, Bola Tinubu decided that it's time to take a break from his work, of course. And where does he want to take his trip, his getaway? It's in Europe, and he is going there for 2 weeks. Although his government wants you to believe that during his break, he's also going to be doing some work because he is passing by through Abu Dhabi for their summit. I believe it's a sustainability, yes, it's a sustainability summit they're having. And guess when it's ending? January 15. So he departed yesterday, 28th of December, and he'll be back to Nigeria mid to end of January. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. The reason why this is such a mind boggling event, the fact that he is taking a break, is that there is an insecurity, active insecurity in Nigeria. Just a few days ago, US, uh, of course, along with the Nigerian government, because they said they have allowed the United States to do this, which was, it's a controversial topic on its own. US airstriked the northwest area in Nigeria, and some people, some reports are claiming that the neighborhood that they have bombed, the people that were there are saying like, we rarely get any terrorist attacks, so why are you bombing our neighborhood? Why are you bombing our farm? And then another side, reports coming out of the US, of course, and the Nigerian government, they're saying that they have actually attacked a terrorist base. Yeah, so that's controversial on its own. Did they really? Did they not? I guess we'll never know unless they tell us. When you search for casualties, you're not going to find a lot of information on it. And that is bringing more insecurity and fear amongst the people, because some people were reporting that they're even scared to leave their house because they don't know if their neighborhood, their farm, their village is part of this strike. So since there's no communication between the government and the US, they don't know what to do. They're afraid for their lives. These are civilians that we're talking about. So that's a topic for another day. But the main thing, the main subject I want us to focus on today is about the president of Nigeria, who is currently going through an insecurity to the point where they are asking for help from the US. Airstrike is happening in their country. Bola Tinubu is asking for help and begging, actually. President Macron said that Bola Tinubu phoned him and he asked him for help. So there, the government is asking for help, uh, and to it's asking for help when it comes to military intervention. It has asked help. It's asking help from France. It's asking help from the US, and now the president is deciding. The president of Nigeria is deciding to take a trip. It is incredibly distasteful and also heartbreaking, because people are like, wait a minute, as our leader, as our president, you're supposed to tell us everything is going to be okay. You're supposed to be handling it on the ground. You're supposed to be there with us, but you are taking a leave of absence during our trying moment of our lives, and it's very unfortunate. But I have some interesting data for you of his travels since 2023, since he came into power, how many trips he has taken, that is overseas and international trips. But first, let me respond to your comments. uh, Theodore said he shouldn't come back, so I'm assuming you're Nigerian if you're saying he shouldn't come back. And I saw that kind of sentiment. And yeah, I mean, it's very insensitive. I can't even fathom how what is going through his mind. I know he has planned for this trip, and this is not his first, as I said, and we'll go through all the trips that he has taken just this year, by the way. And so, you know, how does he expect his people to have faith in him, to believe in him when he's leaving them in the moment, in this trying moment? They are looking to him to hear what he has to say, but he hasn't even given a statement. He's not told his people, okay, don't worry, the it has been destabilized, the terrorist groups are now under control. Nothing, nothing. While everything is going on, he has boarded a flight to Europe. You can't make this stuff up. AOH said Tinubu is a traitor to his people. He shouldn't be welcomed back. Well, it's up to his people to decide that. At the end of the day, we as the people are the ones that will allow how we're going to be treated. Are we going to let this person run for the next term? Are we going to allow him to finish this term as well? So it's up to Nigerians. What are they feeling at this moment? And from the reports I was able to read, they're not really happy. Of course, there are people that support the government and Tinubu, so they were defending him, saying that this is a work trip, which is not true. Yes, there's a work trip labeled, not the first 2 weeks. By the way, he's going for more than 2 weeks. They said he is taking his break. I think this is what they called it, end of year break. Okay, this is the president we're talking about. He's taking end of year break, and then once he's done, he's going to pass by Abu Dhabi because he's been invited for a sustainability summit. So he's passing through. Let's say this was a work trip. Let's even believe him. Okay, though he's not claiming that it's a work trip, he's saying he's also going to have a work trip after his break. But even if he's traveling for work and he is going to Europe, what work abroad, what diplomatic work is more important than the country, the people that you are leading, that are going through a crisis right now, that are going through it, that are looking to you for help, for support, for guidance? What is more important? Are we realizing there's like a priority issue here? And I didn't show you. Wait a minute. This is him. His ministers lined up to send him off to Europe for his break. Off he goes. He is in Europe probably by now because this was yesterday, 28th of December. Yeah, this is just not, it's not looking great. It really is not. For those that were already questioning his leadership, already questioning about him being able to divert the situation. Like, think about this. You are leading this country. You are responsible. Whatever happens, you are responsible because you are the head of that country. And your house is burning. You've even invited outsiders to come and intervene, US, France, whatever. That's the moment you're like, okay, let me take a break. Even if you needed a break, you pause it and you take a break the next month, the next year. Us average people also do this. When we want to take a break, when we want to take leave, we still have to make sure that everything is sorted. We still have to make sure that everything is in order. And if there's an emergency, you show up and then you take your leave. And this is a president. My brain can't comprehend. Cannot comprehend, I'm telling you. Let me read some of your comments. Danim said, good. Now box up all his stuff and change the locks before he returns. That's funny, but as I said, it's up to Nigerians. How they handle this is definitely up to them. But for us, looking from outside looking in, it's definitely a red flag, like the biggest red flag you can have. In the first place, people were having a debate: why is he inviting the US to intervene in his own country? Why is he asking for help when it comes to France? Why is he already? People were asking questions. The decisions he was making is just questionable, right? And then on top of that, you take a leave of absence. Can't make this stuff up. Moose said, I knew it. Netjer said, when will our brothers and sisters in African leadership learn that they can never trust the West? Well, at this point, if I'm being honest, I don't even think it's about trust. Okay? Trust was before you get information, a lot of information. We used to give our leaders the benefit of the doubt. I used to say, maybe, they don't know the details, maybe they were bamboozled, maybe they were tricked. Of course, there are people that were tricked back in the days, but we're in 2025. You have information, first-hand information. You have your neighboring countries. You see what they're going through. Like, look at, like, he's a Nigerian leader. Look at his neighboring countries and what's going on in his neighboring countries. You cannot tell me that he is naive. He's being trusting. I mean, he has benefits and he believes that that's worth selling, that's worth saying okay to their requests. And yeah, I no longer believe that their intentions might not be bad, or they're they're being bamboozled. They're willing participants, and at this day and age, I don't think there's any excuse that they can give us that is believable when we can see it. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room for you to realize what's going on. History is teaching you. What's happening to your brothers and sisters is teaching you. I don't know. Actually, no. It's just, it's sad. Like, I think it's time for us to accept there are sellouts amongst us. There are people that are not willing to work together. There are people that will only be able to see the short term. They don't care about the long term. They don't care about what happens to their own people, their own brothers and sisters. What they care about is themselves. And we see these people, by the way, in our day-to-day life. It's not just in politics, but those people, the difference is those people have the power to change things for the better or for worse. And they're making their decision as we're watching on the side. Elmore said he is American puppet. Well, that's the word on the street. Todd said, Salama, Tinubu's actions speak for itself. His allegiance is not for the people of Nigeria. We're watching. As I said, we are watching. We're gonna see what Nigerians are gonna do about this. As I said, there are people that are supporting him, that are, let's call them sympathizers, or people that benefit. I just showed you his ministers and his people sending him off. Like, look at them lined up, red carpet. Some are even bowing down. Well, that's part of the culture. I won't be too hard about the bowing, because some cultures, it doesn't even have to be the president. You bow down. For example, like even in my culture, when it's an elder, someone you respect, or someone older than you, you bow down, not completely with your knees, like, but like, just your head, or just to show respect. Instead of shaking with one hand, you use two hands. So that's probably like a cultural thing, but they were lined up sending him off for his well-deserved annual leave. He's taking his break. And okay, I promised you earlier I'm gonna share with you some information, data that was reported. This is public information, by the way, so there might be more that is private that we have not heard about. So Bola Tinubu, I was able to find out, has taken trips, international trips. We're talking about overseas trips, just within 2 years. Okay, from 2023, 2020. Oh, no, actually, not 2 years, 3 years. But we haven't finished the third year. But let's go. Let me tell you. This, this is his trip itinerary that is public. In 2023, Bola Tinubu has taken 13 international trips. This was when he first came into power. In 2024, he said, I could do better than that. And he took 19 international trips. And in 2025, he has taken 9 international trips. That's totaling 41 overseas trips. And this is the public information. We don't know if he starts his jet and leaves for a day or two and comes back. But that's the one that is public. Also, if you're wondering, but those trips might be business trips. Yes, some of them are work related, not business trips, work related trips. Some avoidable, but okay. Let's leave it for oh, I thought I saved it. I thought I saved it. I guess I didn't. So there were trips in September and April that I found this year in 2025. He has taken 2 weeks, and one was, I believe, 9 days. And these are proper breaks, like because he announced it. There were breaks that he took. And where, you might ask? Of course, Europe. To That's where he wants to visit. This is another thing that I wish we can change. You can tell who is really improving their country, who is really, as a leader, who's really investing and bettering their own country. If you're doing a great job as a leader to improve your country, why do you need to take your breaks? Why does your leave and a holiday has to be outside of Africa? Why does it have to be Europe in the first place? If you have done a great job in your country, in your own backyard, did you create entertainment for your people? Did you create infrastructure that is going to make it easy for people to travel and have holiday? Did you make it cheaper to move within the country? Our leaders, while they are making it worse, while they're digging their own countries into the grave, they are investing and putting their money in outside of the country, supporting outside economies. Now imagine if you use the same kind of effort to open resorts in your own country. If you're not going to do it, make it possible. You're a government. You have the say. You have the power to facilitate, to allow entrepreneurs to create those inducive uh, situations, like pla- places that even the locals would want to travel to, places that even outsiders can come and enjoy. Just because you're short sighted, you lose out on that. It's money, it's investment. You allow those that are willing to make your country better, make it a better place. But that's not the case. So they steal from their own and go travel. I'm not talking about Tinubu here, just generally. They steal from their country and they travel and they spend their holidays outside. They don't improve the public schools, so they send their kids outside of their country, abroad, overseas. It's a cycle. It's a cycle that we need to break, and it's a cycle that I believe can be broken, but it's going to take a lot of learning and unlearning, because at this point, even the younger generation is learning that the only way you can make money is by becoming politician, not because it pays well, but because you can steal. That's sad. um Modo said, if the spirit is in the person, how are they ever going to learn different when that's why they are? Yeah, we need to do better. Susan, hi. Sturan said, like all most of the African leaders, they are under threat for their lives by the West. Some, you know what? Like, yes, I forgot to say this. Valid point. Some are willing participants, but some might feel threatened. They don't have strong will. They're not willing. Like, you remember Captain Ibrahim Traore, when he was being threatened, he said, okay, if you need to kill me, let it happen, but I'm going to stand for what is right, what I believe to be right. And even if I get unalived, so be it. Not everyone is like that. I get that. There's that point as well. But for the most part, I don't know. I don't know if that's the majority. Dawn said disgusting. Gives. I don't know how to read your name. Sorry. Sturdun? Sturd. Okay. You know who you are. The West gives ultimatums, dangling carrot or the gun. They have to pick one. Yeah. Jones. Hi, Jones. I like the Traore fist bump. I do too. It's so cool. But also, do you think he's doing it to protect himself? Maybe a preservation thing. Like if he's shaking hands, he doesn't know what can be given to him. Now he has to be also careful for his life because there's a direct threat. So he maybe like he came up with the bump so that less contact with people because you don't know who's a sellout. But yeah, I like that too. Africa's King said President Ramaphosa is never in South Africa. We need to do a deep dive on that because I was not aware of that. But it's an interesting topic, I think, to go through all our leaders and see how much time they spend outside of the country and how much uh, time are the Western leaders spending in their own countries. Maybe it's a good um, what's it called, a good comparison. Will That's a good idea that you've given me. I'll look into it because I didn't know Ramaphosa does the same thing. um John Fetty said there are videos of the seaside complexes that they tore down due to corruption. They tore down the businessman who tried to make some beauty over there. Oh really? Why did they do? Is it the same thing as they're trying to do with Dangote? It's so weird to me how they love to sabotage one another if it's not going to benefit them directly, if there's nothing that they can gain. But there is something that's how they look at it, but that's not the case. There is something that they're going to gain. Their kids are going to gain. They look, as I said, these puppets, they only see the near future. They're so short-sighted. They believe that what matters is them and their kids or their grandkids being sorted. But how about the kids that come after that? Think about that. Even if you don't care about your neighbors, your extended family, your the people that you promised to serve and you're not serving, let's leave them alone. Even your lineage, after like the third generation, wouldn't you want them to be proud to be from that country? For example, in this case, to be proud to be Nigerian or Ethiopian or South African. Wouldn't you want them to have that pride and the confidence that I can make it in my own country? I can build what I want. I can work hard and get compensated for it. I love my country. What a beautiful country. Why wouldn't you want that? Like, why can't you think that far? It's not very hard. Like, I don't know. I don't know why they do that. Because the better your country is, the better you're making it, even for your own lineage, right? Colas said Tinubu is an incompetent, I'm guessing, leader who can't solve any of the Nigerians' problem. I also think he is a tribalist. Tribe is one other issue in the continent. I wish I could just, if I'm given one wish, I think that will be the wish that I'll take. Just remove tribalism. Like, just, okay, it's good to own where you come from. It's good to love that. It's good to appreciate it. There's nothing wrong with celebrating who you are, where you come from. At the end of the day, community contributes a lot to who you are, who we are. But to the point where you belittle others, where you believe you're a superior being, to the point where you want your people to thrive but no one else, that for me is just a disease, a proper disease. And I didn't know about him, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because most Africans are like that. Even the ones that are not taking it too far, you can sense that um, you can see it a little bit, and I wish we can get rid of it. I wish we can, like, okay, wishes can't make things happen. We try our best to work towards um, sharing with our people how every one of us is deserving. Every one of us deserve to live. We're all humans. We need to love one another, and we need to live with one another. And we can only, even if you don't care about that, if you only care about yourself for selfish reasons, then you will have a better life and a better future if you come together and work together with the same people that you're looking down on, which does not make sense, because why are you hating on your neighbor when you're in the same country, in the same situation? Why do you think you're special? um but yeah, let's see how this US thing goes with Nigeria. As I said earlier, Nigeria also requested for military help to France, so we'll see how that one goes too. um Makalu Berry said, President of the Gambia always spends his holidays in his country, which is good. Oh, we love to hear that. We love to hear that. Good for him. Well done. Now that's a man I can respect. That's respectable. And by the way, when I say this, it doesn't mean that you never go on holiday anywhere else, but at least majority of the time, especially if you're a public servant, let's travel locally, and then have a goal. If you're African, try to travel within Africa. Maybe, I don't know what your budget looks like, or what kind of trip you can take, but if it's 3 trips that you can afford, make sure that at least 2 of them is in Africa, and then one, maybe you can sprinkle in whatever country or continent that you want to visit, because I don't want to discourage our people from seeing the world as well. I know the world doesn't want us to when I say the world, not the world, but like other races don't want us to travel to see the world. But nah, just because they believe that we're less than or this or that, it shouldn't stop us. We should see the world. But there should be a system where you prioritize local traveling, prioritize intercontinental travel, and then you can reward yourself, or you can go somewhere else. But all you can see whenever you think about holidays, all you can see is Europe. There's a problem there. Look within. Why do you think someone else's country is so much better than yours? Maybe now it's time to invest in your own country. Let's make it more beautiful. What do you like about Europe? Is it like the yacht situation when you're going to France? Okay, you have access to the sea. What are you going to do about it? Like, how can you make it a better tourist country? Like, do what you can, and then, you know, the rest is the rest will be handled when the next guy comes in. Hello, Hebrew. Gabriel said African presidents and continental organizations are reading the demand of Africans wrongly. The new generation of Africans desire a continent that doesn't look up to or look down on outside partners. I couldn't agree with you more. This generation, go look at content. Like, if you want to look at Africa, for at least, like, if you don't want to depend on the Western version of Africa or the mainstream media or the movies or how they want to portray us, right? But if you want to look at the locals right now, just go, you'll find content creators from each country within Africa. And so look at the countries, how beautiful the countries are, how beautiful the people are, what um, different cultures and beautiful sceneries that you, and animals and wildlife. It's just, it's amazing. But you can only know that when you see the people on the ground, or when you follow the people on the ground. So the more you know, the more you see, the more you realize, oh my goodness, there's so much in Africa. Like, I need to discover Africa first before anything, before spending my money outside of Africa. So um, this generation definitely is changing and changing the narrative as well, because they're showing you what's there. They're showing you what you can do when you go to Zambia or Zimbabwe or Kenya. So yeah, they I don't think the older generation have caught up. The new generation is not in the same place that they were. They're just not understanding that, but they're gonna realize it. They're gonna realize it for sure. Hey, Kellen, welcome. Um, Moose. Oh, you're talking to someone else. Hi, Michelle. Welcome. Kolas said the president of Rwanda is the high rated by his own by own citizens from $0 economy after devastation to $20 billion economy still growing at 8%, and he's invested quite a lot in marketing. Like if you've seen what Kagame has done, he invested a lot of money. At some point, I remember they had a marketing in the European League. I believe it was Arsenal that they were paying to promote Visit Rwanda. They have the basketball thing going on now. Like he really invests in marketing for sure, and that in turn will bring in more money. Yeah. Hemo said, "This is so funny. He shouldn't come back." Yeah, I saw that comment earlier as well. It's very funny. Tinab said, "Please don't tell me the president of Nigeria left his country too." Yes, he did, but you'll be surprised to find out why. Maybe you can guess. He took a break. He called it an end of year break, and he traveled to Europe. As we speak, he's in Europe for 2 weeks, as his country is in an actual crisis. He's in Europe, and he's gonna pass by Abu Dhabi for work, to to be part of a summit. Not even part of. He was invited, so he's attending a meeting in Abu Dhabi for a sustainability meeting summit when an actual crisis is happening in Nigeria. But yeah, he needs his break. So, um, hi Michelle. God bless you too, sister. Hassan said maybe he's traveling because it's the holidays. Presidents are allowed to travel. Yes, Hassan, I agree with you. Everyone is allowed to take a break. But imagine going on a break when there's a crisis. Now, imagine you, Hassan, in your own home. There's thieves or there's an issue happening in your home, right? Or in your job. And you even ask for help from outsiders, from your neighbors, and they're here to help you, like the US striking the northwest Nigeria region, right? And you're in the middle of that to the point where you're asking for help from France, in your case, let's say a friend, and they're helping you. In the midst of that, you're like, oh, you know what, guys, I need to take a break. It's the holidays. Will you do that, Hassan? I wouldn't. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't. You hold off your break and put out the fire that's going on, take out the thieves, take out those unaliving spirits that are terrorizing your people, and then you can think about traveling and taking a break. It just shows where his priority lies. And these are some of the things that people were complaining about this trip, by the way, and these are Nigerians. They were saying this is poor timing, which we agree. They were saying this shows lack of empathy when people are dying, when people are asking or looking for their leaders to help, for support, for some kind of strength. He decides to live. And also, and this is a good point, he has been silent about critical security events. So the people don't even feel reassured. They're like, what's going to happen to us? What's happening? To make matters worse, US airstrike stressed and made a lot of people scared because they're thinking because there's no communication, as I said earlier. Maybe you just joined. They're thinking, what is going to happen? What if they hit up my farm? Because that is what happened. Some villagers were reporting that they hit our farm. The bombs landed here, and they're like, we don't have terrorist issues. Like, why are we the ones that are getting targets? So there are villages that are scared because they are thinking next it's them because they don't know when it's coming, how it's going. There's no reassurance. There's no information, or the government is not providing that with the people. How many casualties? What's happening? Nothing. And he just travels. Come on now. Come on now. With leaders like that, who needs the West? I mean, they'll handle it for you. Chris said, hi. Hi to you too. Hi, Antoine. Moose said, appreciate you doing this piece. Wengil, thank you. Because pieces together so much other things going on. Thank you for coming through as well. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Michelle said, maybe he'll bless the brothers and sisters of Nigeria and not come back. And we shall see. I mean, this is not his first break. He's taken a break in April, I believe, September, same place, Europe. That's his fave. So I doubt, but yeah. Hi, Edri. Antoine said right. Hassan said, I agree the optics don't look good traveling after a strike in Nigeria. I don't think African leaders really care about the optics. Yeah. Because they know, because they're like, what's going to happen to me? Like, as I showed you earlier, like people were sending him off, bowing down. Like, there's this video here. I can just play for you if you just came. Like, when he's going for his trip, he has a whole envoy of people just following and look, bowing down and, hey sir, have a really beautiful trip, we love you, you know. So yeah, they know nothing is gonna happen. That's why. But now they're a little bit scared. Antoine said priority, exactly, which all of us have to deal with. Gabriel said, I am a fan of military government. I am not a fan of West. Wait, let me read. West type of democracy. Instead, I am a fan of good example and sovereignty. As of now, the IES is leading on the African continent. Yep, they are really showing us what unity looks like for sure. Hi, Antoine. Hassan said military government has a terrible track record in the continental states of Africa. Maybe the new leadership is turning off a new leaf, but military isn't intended to be in power. Well, yeah, I agree with you. The ideal is not military, obviously. We would want to elect our leaders. We would like to have a say. But then in some situations, you can see like they never will let us have a say because they will rig the elections. They'll make sure that they stay in power. They will unalive people when they go out to protest. They don't want to listen to their people. I mean, we have those dictators as we speak. So, yeah. Yes. Todd said the US strike against ISIS terrorists in Nigeria on Christmas, and now Tinubu taking a vacation break in Europe for New Year holiday. Sounds like a puppet to me. Michelle said, only one king I'm going to bow down to. Yeshua, Jesus Christ. Amen to that. So, yeah, fam, thank you for the chat. I appreciate it. I must leave for Dimitra to come through. Have a beautiful day, morning, night, wherever you're watching this from. Happy holidays. Bye.